Let's start by breaking it down in the simplest way possible. When people say glow up, they usually mean looking better. Maybe physically, maybe financially, maybe even socially. But when we talk about the divine feminine glow up, it's so much more than that. It's not just about looking good on the outside. It's about becoming a whole new version of yourself on the inside. It's when you rise from your pain, your heartbreak, your doubts, and step into your power. It's when you stop dimming your light to make other people comfortable. This glow up is spiritual, emotional, and mental before it ever becomes physical. It's about healing the wounds that once controlled you. It's about walking into rooms and not needing validation from anyone because you've already validated yourself. And here's the thing. When you hit that level, when you really step into that energy, it's powerful. People feel it before you even say a word. Your presence speaks louder than any outfit, louder than any makeup, louder than any title. But here's the part that gets tricky. Not everyone can handle that, especially the masculine energy that hasn't done its own healing. And when I say masculine, I'm not just talking about men. I'm talking about unbalanced masculine energy, the type that thrives on control, ego, and the need to dominate. That energy struggles when the divine feminine rises because suddenly the game changes. Suddenly you're not the same person they knew before. That's what this talk is about. Why the masculine can't handle your glow up. Why they pull away, act out, or try to bring you down when you start shining. And most importantly, how you can stay grounded, keep glowing, and not dim yourself for anyone. Let's dive in. When you start glowing up spiritually, something powerful happens. The control that others once had over you starts slipping. Let's be real for a second. Before this glow up, maybe you looked to them for validation. Maybe you let their words decide how you felt about yourself. Maybe you believed love meant proving yourself, bending, or waiting. And they got used to that. They got used to having that hold over you. But when the divine feminine rises, that old pattern dies. You're no longer moved by breadcrumbs of attention. You don't crave their approval the way you once did. You love yourself so deeply that losing someone doesn't feel like losing your worth. That shift right there, that's the control breaking. For an unhealed masculine, this is terrifying because now they can't play the old game. They can't keep you small, insecure, or waiting. They can't keep feeding your fears because you don't live in fear anymore. And so what happens? They either step up or they lash out. You might notice them becoming distant, picking fights, or even trying to make you doubt yourself again. That's not love. That's control slipping away. They feel powerless, and instead of dealing with their own wounds, they project it on you. Here's what you need to remember. That's not your problem to fix. You didn't glow up to shrink back down and make them feel comfortable. You didn't heal yourself to go back to the old version of you. If they can't meet you where you are now, that's their journey, not yours. Stay firm. Keep your boundaries. Because the moment you start apologizing for your growth, you betray yourself. And that's not what this journey is about. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. When you start glowing up, it triggers people. And the reason it triggers them isn't because you're doing anything wrong. It's because your energy holds up a mirror to their unhealed parts. When you were in your old energy, they felt secure because you both lived in similar patterns. But now you've elevated. You've broken free from fear, self-doubt, and toxic cycles. You've started setting boundaries. You're walking with confidence that doesn't come from ego, but from self-love. That kind of energy, it makes people see where they're lacking. For the unhealed masculine, that exposure is uncomfortable because now they can't hide behind the old excuses. They can't blame life or timing or you anymore. Your growth shows them that healing is possible, change is possible, but they haven't done it. And instead of saying, "Let me rise too," some will pull back, criticize you, or even try to make you feel guilty for changing. Don't fall for that trap. That guilt is manipulation in disguise. They want the old you because the old you was easier for them to handle. The old you didn't challenge them to grow. The old you stayed quiet when they crossed lines. But that version of you doesn't exist anymore. And honestly, that's a good thing. Because your glow up isn't about making anyone else feel small. It's about stepping into who you were always meant to be. If your light bothers someone, that says more about their darkness than your brightness. Stay glowing, stay loving, and keep reminding yourself their insecurities are not your responsibility. This is a big one. Before your glow up, maybe you leaned on them for validation, love, or even financial stability. You might have felt like you needed them to feel whole, and that gave them a sense of power. But when you rise into your divine feminine energy, that need disappears. You become independent, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. You realize your happiness isn't tied to someone else's presence or approval. You stop chasing and start attracting. You start saying no to what doesn't serve you. And that, right there, changes everything. When you're no longer dependent, the dynamic shifts. They can't play the hero anymore. They can't use love as leverage. They can't keep you small with the fear of losing them. Because now you know you won't lose yourself even if you lose them. For some masculine energy, this is intimidating. They were comfortable being the provider, the one in control. But now you don't need saving. And if they don't rise into their highest self, they start feeling irrelevant. Here's the thing. You didn't do all this inner work to go back to dependency. You didn't learn self-love to keep begging for scraps. Independence doesn't mean you don't want love. It just means you want a healthy, equal love, not a love built on control or fear. Keep your focus on your growth. The right masculine energy will never feel threatened by your independence. They'll celebrate it. They'll rise with you. And if they can't, then that chapter has served its purpose, and it's time to turn the page. Before your glow up, maybe you didn't have strong boundaries. Maybe you said yes when you wanted to say no. Maybe you tolerated disrespect because you didn't want to lose them. And let's be honest, when you have weak boundaries, people get used to taking advantage. But now, you're a different person. You have standards. You know your worth. You're not afraid to say, this doesn't work for me. And when that happens, the masculine energy that was used to access without effort feels rejected. They take your boundaries as an attack instead of seeing them as self-respect. This is why some of them react with anger or pull away. Because boundaries mean they can't treat you the way they used to. They can't come and go as they please. They can't breadcrumb you or keep you in confusion. Boundaries protect your peace. They keep your energy safe. And anyone who truly values you will respect them. If they can't handle your boundaries, they can't handle you. Don't let anyone guilt trip you into breaking your own standards. You didn't fight through your old wounds just to let someone drag you back into chaos. Stand firm. Your boundaries aren't walls to keep love out. They're gates that only let the right kind of love in. Let's really talk about why this happens. When you find happiness on your own, it changes everything. Before, you might have looked to them for validation. Their attention, their approval, their love, it all felt like the source of your joy. They believed that without them, you wouldn't be okay. And honestly, there might have been a time when you believed that too. But now things are different. You've done the inner work. You've healed parts of yourself that you didn't even know needed healing. You've faced your fears, you've sat through the pain, and you've learned to enjoy your own company. You wake up and feel good, even when no one is texting you, even when no one is checking in on you. You've built a life that makes you smile without waiting for anyone to give you permission to be happy. This shift scares people who were once used to being the center of your world. They no longer feel needed in the same way. And for someone whose ego is tied to being your source of happiness, that can feel like a loss of power. They start asking themselves, if they don't need me, will they still want me? If they can be happy without me, what role do I play in their life now? For an unhealed masculine, this fear can show up in strange ways. Some will try to pull you back to the old dynamic where you relied on them for everything. They might question your worth, point out your flaws, or remind you of who you used to be. They might even accuse you of being different or too independent now. They're hoping those words will make you doubt yourself and shrink back to the version of you that needed them to feel whole. But here's what you need to understand. Happiness that depends on someone else is not true happiness. It's dependency. And you've outgrown that. You've learned that real happiness comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are and loving yourself fully. So when they react with fear or insecurity, Don't let that shake you. It's not your job to dim your light just to make someone else feel important. The right person will never be threatened by your happiness. They'll want to add to it, not take credit for it. They'll feel proud to see you shine, not scared. So keep living your life. Keep enjoying your peace. Keep laughing, loving, and creating a life that makes you excited to wake up every morning. Because the truth is, happiness that is self-built cannot be taken away by anyone. And the right energy, the person who truly aligns with you, will never want to take it away. They'll want to grow with you. Your glow up is not something to feel guilty about. It's not a punishment for anyone. It's the result of your strength, your growth, and your courage to face yourself. You didn't go through sleepless nights, heartbreaks, and endless self-reflection just to go back to the person you used to be. You've come too far for that. The truth is, some people will not be able to handle this new version of you. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your light forces them to look at their own shadows. Your growth forces them to choose, either rise to meet you or step aside. And that choice is theirs, not yours. You can't make yourself small to make others comfortable. You can't dim your light so someone else can avoid facing their truth. That's not what this journey is about. Your path is about becoming who you were always meant to be, even if that means outgrowing people, situations, and old versions of yourself. So keep shining. Keep standing firm in your boundaries. Keep loving yourself so deeply that no amount of fear, ego, or insecurity from someone else can dim your glow. Because the right person, the one who truly sees you, will never try to handle your glow up. They'll match it. They'll celebrate it. They'll grow with you. That's the kind of love and connection you're making space for. And until it comes, you keep living. You keep thriving. Because your glow isn't just for them. It's for you. And you've earned every bit of it.